Hey guys, Vern here from the Hack Check podcast. I'm extremely excited to announce that we have partnered with Ligum Fight Gear. Ligum Fight Gear is the #1 premium brand for all of your fight gear and fight equipment. Everything from gis to rashies to this hoodie I'm wearing right now, gum guards, shin pads, even treadmills, you name it. Make sure you visit www.ligumfightgear.com. Link is in the description. As a special gift to all of the viewers, I'm giving you 10% off of all of your purchases, big or small. Use the discount code HACKCHECK10 at checkout for 10% off of all of your purchases. That's ligumfightgear.com. HACKCHECK10 is the discount code. We hope you enjoy this episode. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of our weekly MMA talk show, Chokes and Ice Pokes, where we discuss all things MMA and combat sports related. I'm your host as always, Vern. I'm joined by my co-host, Jack. Jack, nice weekend of MMA that happened.
Yeah. Wow.
Man, I really enjoyed that pay-per-view.
Yeah, I think one of the best of the year, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of finishes happened on that and a lot of quick finishes. So I'm glad we don't actually pay for pay-per-view because it was like 2 hours long max, you know. So I think we should get straight into it. We had Diego Lopes kicking things off with a minute and a half TKO victory over Pat Sabatini. So Diego Lopes improves to 23-6. And Pat Sabatini drops to 18-5. I don't think I said it, but a featherweight bout match. Yeah. What do you think of this?
I was so surprised, honestly. I think you had Sabatini.
Yeah, I had Sabatini.
And that was a hard one for me as well, because like Sabatini's good. What I took away from that is Diego's really good as well. Like really, really good. What made the fight for him was his ability to like see that opportunity once he had him rocked. And, and take him down there, or like finish it off. But
it was so quick in the scramble, dude. Yeah. I mean, he defended the takedown to the scramble to the uppercut to the finish. It's crazy, man. Yeah, crazy. Now definitely star status. Yeah. I mean, the makings of a real big star, featherweight particularly.
Yeah. I saw him. Yeah.
No. I was just gonna say, especially with we don't know what. I know Volk's fighting Taporia, but with Volk's future, although actually no, Volk seems to like he's gonna be staying at featherweight. I don't think he's gonna be going up again at lightweight anytime soon. So, another possible contender in a fight or two. Lopes.
I also saw him. He was calling out Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah, it's a good fight. Bryce Mitchell's known. Yeah, it's a winnable fight.
Yeah.
Bryce is nice and highly ranked. I think his stock has fallen a little bit in recent times, but still a good fighter.
Yeah. It'll be a really interesting stand-up war, I think.
Oh, yeah. Smart fight, I think, definitely. Yeah. Performance of the night, bonus as well. Definitely deserved. I mean, sure, that was quick.
Yeah.
So I think you got Lopes, eh?
Yeah.
You picked that one. Okay, so 1-0 to you. Then we had another performance of the night award again. TKO in round 1. Benoit Saint-Denis beating Matt Frivola. I think we both said Benoit, hey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
I wasn't sure of which one because I think we could have gone either way, but
yeah.
Yeah, so Benoit Saint-Denis improving to 13-1-0. Matt Frivola now dropping to 11-4-1. Matt Frivola was 14th, so definitely Benoit is going to get ranked after this for sure. Probably the most impressive win of his career. And head kick and punches. Yeah, he looked great.
Yeah, he's huge as well.
We did say that ahead of time. Yeah, I think that was one of the main contributing reasons of why we thought he would win that fight. So, I'm glad we picked correctly.
Yeah, he's a big dude. I actually, when he was calling out the names, I think him versus Poirier, I would love to see. Yeah, because they're both they've almost got similar styles. I think Benoit's got probably not as much jiu-jitsu, but good kicks. So that I think that plays out stylistically really well.
Yeah, I mean, if you beat the number 14 rank that quickly, that easily, okay. I mean, fights can be ended quickly. Yeah. But I think he's ready for somebody in that top 7 round there.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, we say this every week, that top 6 after the champ. I mean, champion's the champion, then Gaethje, then the 2 to 7. There's very little to choose between them. So going straight for Dustin Poirier is smart. Man, what a performance! Definitely going to be ranked after this. Then we had quite a bit of a, I mean, for us, I guess it was a shock because I think we both had Mackenzie Dern.
Yeah.
Another performance of the night bonus. There were actually 4 on this card.
Yeah, everyone just got
pretty
50K.
much, yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, good on you, Dona.
Yeah.
Jessica Andrade beating Mackenzie Dern via TKO in round 2. Andrade now improves, if you can call it that, 25 and 12. Dern drops to 13 and 4. Most knockdowns in female history, 4 knockdowns in 9 minutes for Andrade. What the hell was Mackenzie Dern thinking trying to stand with her?
Didn't make any sense. It's like you even said that like her way to victory is submission. You know, like get her to the ground. She's one of the best grapplers. Yeah.
And I still said like a couple of years back, maybe Andrade could hang with her on the ground. But Andrade has to find a way to keep it standing. And she didn't even have to find a way because Mackenzie Dern did it for her.
Yeah.
Surely after the second knockdown, you go, maybe we should even just pull guard, like whatever, just get it to the ground somehow.
Yeah.
Nope, didn't do that. Then suffered the consequences, I guess. Very stupid, very stupid.
Good fight to watch. I don't think that it was that technically good, if I'm honest, but good. Like it was very entertaining.
Yeah, we kind of wondered why Jessica Andrade was fighting that much. And I mean, maybe the divorce played a part in it because, I mean, maybe to get her mind off of it. Kept fighting. But now, look, at the end of the year, it's not as bad a year as it was before the fight because now she's 2-3 for the year. What are we? 6 weeks away from end of the year. She won't get another fight before the end of the year, but she was 5th, eh? She's going to climb the rankings having been on a 2-3 in the last 5. But hey.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, man. Whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah, because if you win like that against the number 7, then you should. I mean, yeah.
Mackenzie Dern is a big name still in that division, so I mean, let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. Then we got to Aspinall versus Pavlovich. I mean, we didn't expect us to leave the first round, but man, what a shock to see that. I mean, quick work. I mean, we knew it was going to be quick. I was quite surprised because Aspinall got clipped like hard with a left hook from Pavlovich, and it didn't even seem to wobble him. So props to him for taking that, and then obviously goes to the finish.
It's quite sad to see how that fight did play out for Pavlovich. I mean, that's his first loss, right?
No, he's lost before.
Well, in a long time.
Yeah, his last loss was to Overeem. So this is I think it's his second loss.
Yeah.
Or is his UFC debut, I think, when it's with Overeem. He's a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah. But he has not looked anything but invincible for such a long time. Like that was, I don't know, it seemed like just so quick. I didn't see, he was just like, it didn't look like that big a shot as well that took him down.
Just accuracy. I think with Pavlovich, okay, so Pavlovich won his last 6 and he hadn't lost in 5 years, basically. And you still said you don't believe the hype on Aspinall. I said I do, but it's too early.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing is, like now, you like in fighting, you know, sometimes people can be rushed too early, especially like on a 2 weeks notice. But there's a new mythical fighter that's been unlocked. British fighters on 2 weeks' notice. You got Bisping, and then you've got first it was Bisping. So yeah, the mythical fighters, British mythical fighters on 2 weeks' notice. First thing you got Bisping, and then you got now Tom Aspinall unlocked. I mean, Bisping was saying that Aspinall's the best heavyweight in the world. I think it's still a far stretch for him to still be considered that just now. But I mean, what he is, and this is why I was a bit like on the fence of who to pick, because Pavlovich, like my favorite heavyweight. Okay, I love John Jones obviously as well because he's the greatest of all time. Yeah. But Pavlovich was my favorite just because of the power. But Aspinall is such an agile, and this is why it was so hard to not pick him.
Yeah.
He's so agile and so fast.
And still so strong.
And still strong. He has all the qualities that makes heavyweights so good, like the power, and just that ability with a touch of death. But he's got the accuracy, he's got speed, he's agile. So he's going to be a big problem for a lot of the heavyweights. I mean, the only 2 people that are above him now, in my opinion, would be Stipe and John Jones. Just on a side note, though, Dana White came out and said, no, Aspinall's not fighting John Jones. The next fighter to make is still Stipe and John Jones.
I think so. I like that decision.
That's fair enough. I do also like that decision, but then why do you make an interim title?
Yeah, that's true.
So how long is John Jones out? Like a year, okay? right? So John Jones is out a year. So wait, hear me out. John Jones
Yeah.
is out for a full year, pretty much 8 months a year. So Aspinall's not fighting Jones or Stipe. So you're gonna have John Jones be the champion for the next year. There's gonna be no John Jones heavyweight fight. There's gonna be no Stipe fight. There's gonna be no Aspinall fight. So why make it an interim title?
I see what you mean.
So if you're gonna make an interim title, the interim champion usually unifies with the legitimate.
Yeah.
So why not just not make it an interim title or strip Jones of the title and make this the legitimate title?
Yeah. Yo, Jones has been so lucky. So I'm thinking about that timeline now. He's been so lucky with injuries at the right time, because also Stipe is going to be like 40 when he fights him then. You know?
Yeah, I still think he would have beaten Stipe probably, but I don't know. Look, Jones, Stipe, I'm gonna park that to one side because that's a year away.
Yeah.
I still don't understand. Like I say, why do you have an interim title for Aspinall when he's not going to get to fight Jones?
I think that it was like, it's probably the most pragmatic, because if they made it the title and then Jones just renounced the title, then it's like what happened to Stipe, and they probably didn't want to make that fight with Aspinall Stipe, because Stipe versus Jones is like the money fight.
Well, Stipe's got one fight left.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, because of his age, because of his meter, you have to make it. You can market it the greatest heavyweight fight of all time versus the greatest of all time. And then Jones wins. He's the greatest heavyweight as well. There's no disputing he's the greatest of all time. Like, that's how they want to market it. But then don't make this. I think they just made this an interim title so that there could be 2 title fights on a UFC pay-per-view in 295. Because what is Aspinall going to do now?
Yeah, that is true. I mean, maybe it's to secure that he will be the next like title fight after Jones Stipe, because like now he has a title fight. It's not like you're fighting for the number one contender, and that's like a little bit iffy in terms of if you're gonna get there.
Yeah, but what is he supposed to do for another year and a half? Because like they're gonna fight in a year, Stipe and Jones, and then there's still gonna be a layoff after that. Jones doesn't fight that often anymore. Jones also getting there in age.
Yeah.
And I can almost guarantee, I'm gonna call this now. Jones is going to beat Stipe and he's going to retire. And then Aspinall's going to have waited around for John Jones and he's not going to get that fight.
Yeah.
Watch it happen.
Yeah, I can't imagine Jones fighting after Stipe again.
He's not going to... I don't think he has anything else to prove, but I would like to see him fight Aspinall, but I think Aspinall's dangerous for Jones.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's dangerous for Jones.
Sure.
I think he matches him on the speed, he matches him on the agility. He is super tall as well.
I think he's
nice and rangy.
And stronger.
More power in his shots.
Yeah.
He'll be a problem for John Jones. But now, I don't know. The UFC does weird stuff. They flip-flop. Lately, they flip-flop so much. So, we're going to have to see what they do with that. So, anyway, Tom Aspinall, now the interim heavyweight champion of the world. Well-deserved. I mean, took it on 2 weeks' notice. Mythical UK fighters. New thing now. Along there with 100% oxygen Dricus.
Yeah.
Yes. Rolling off the couch, Nate Diaz. Yes. So, yeah. Then the main event, another one of a bit of a shocking, I mean, for me at least in any way. So we both got that wrong, and we both said Pavlovich, we both got that wrong. You got the main event right. Jiří Procházka lost to Alex Pereira, TKO round 2. What did you make of the fight firstly?
I would never want to fight Payton. Like Alex Pereira, he just seems untouchable. I don't... At light heavyweight, I just don't see anyone beating him for a while. I think Pereira, the specialist that he is, prime v prime versus John Jones would be an amazing fight. I don't know who would win in that fight either.
Prime versus prime, I think I still go Jones, to be honest with you. I see it a bit differently. I think I honestly, when I watch this now, Jiří Procházka, I don't know if it was ring rust or what it is. I was a little bit disappointed. He did seem quite flat-footed. Yeah. I know that's the way he fights, and he's not really, I mean, he's obviously technical, but he has his fighting style, and that's the way he fights. But he did seem a little bit flat-footed. He was way too calm in that first round when Pereira had him in a guillotine, and it was like, I thought he was going to get finished. I was like, he's going to get subbed here, and he was just going. And then he was still too calm, and he was getting elbowed in the head. Did you see that? Like, he was still getting elbowed in the head, and he was just standing there, like, trying to take him down. And I'm like, do something, Jiří.
Yeah.
So...
like deer in the headlights.
So, then it was like getting elbowed in the side of the head in the clinch, and he just didn't move. And then he just dropped down, and and the referee stopped it, which, watching it in real time, I was like, yeah, no, good stoppage.
Yeah.
I mean, he was out. He wasn't defending himself. A lot of people were pissed off and said it was an early stoppage. I don't think it was an early stoppage. Jiří himself said it's not an early stoppage. But, sorry, I've gone on a whole sidetrack, but Payton, I don't know. I think he's just knows what he has to do to not be in the areas that are like bad for him.
Yeah.
So like he knows how to get up, not take damage on the ground. He knows how to stay tight. Like he was staying tight in half guard, get back up, get out of the get into clinch, get out of the wrong position, stand striking. I mean, he was lighting up Jiří with those calf kicks, and that was also something that was a bit because Jiří.
That leg.
Jiří was looking at the leg the whole time, and what he does is he gets you to look at that leg, and then he goes for the hooks.
Yeah.
But I think. Yeah, Payton, look, take nothing away from him. I mean, what he's done in the last, in 11 fights.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I think that if he does versus Jamal Hill next, which is probably the fight, I think that he takes it. I think, yeah.
Well, that's what Dana said, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
So we'll get to the call out because I actually want to run through a possible fight card. So we'll get to the call out with Izzy a little bit later. But... yeah, he called out Izzy. Dana later said, no, it's going to be Jamal. I think that is the fight to make because Ankalaev's gone. What is his name? Jan was like irritated that Payton never called him out, but Jan's down the line now. Sorry. Jan's already got a fight with Rakic, apparently.
Okay, that makes sense.
So...
What about Walker Johnny? Oh, no, of course, that's Ankalaev.
No, they got Ankalaev rematch, so... still calling it. Walker Johnny's going to pull Aljamain Sterling. Fake the concussion. Beat Ankalaev in the rematch by some crazy quick KO. Get a title shot and beat the freaking champion.
I don't want to see him as champion. There's something about that.
The way this year's gone, and the next year maybe goes into it, but hey, I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, Payton, man, now the quickest to 2 titles.
Yeah.
Crazy career. Two-weight world champion in Glory, 2-weight world champion in UFC. So quick. I mean, he's beaten more champions in like his last 6 fights than the same amount of champions than Izzy did in like 16.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So
and he beat Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the former champion. Yeah. So so Izzy, yeah, true. Sorry. I didn't make that connection.
Yeah.
And even afterwards, so I don't know if when the translator did a bad job of translating his post-fight speech, but I don't know if you saw a clip. So Izzy had a clip in 2020 where they asked him about Alex Pereira.
Yeah, I did see this.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't watch his fights. No one's going to give a fuck about him in 3 years' time. I'm going to be the champion. He's going to be sitting in some bar drunk.
Yeah.
Payton literally said in the interviews, like there was an interview Izzy did a few years ago where I was actually like in a bar. You saved me from the bar. You motivated me to get out of the bar.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was literally his revenge plot right there from those words.
Yeah.
And since then, he's just come back to haunt Izzy.
And the memes just make sweet.
Crazy.
Yeah, sweet sense. Yeah.
Crazy. So, congrats, Jack. You won this week. You got that one. You called it.
Nice.
I think it was 3-2 or something like that, 2-1 or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it was a tough one to call though. Like those ones that I got and you didn't, they were very, very very tough.
Coin flips.
Yeah,
they were
honestly.
coin flips. I mean, Aspinall. One of us picks Aspinall. Maybe both of us pick Payton. Who knows? So congrats on that, Jack. You're the champion for this week. Overall, what are we giving the card?
I'm gonna go 7.85. So close. You can round it up to 8.
I'm going 9.
Okay, nice.
That's the type of card I love to see. It's like finishes, performance of the night bonuses all over the place.
Yeah. Also, just a note, Jared Gordon. He got the KO first round.
Nice. Yeah, I saw that. So wonder what's next for him as well. I mean, we're big fans of his, so hopefully another ranked opponent, and let's see what happens with Jared Gordon.
Yeah.
So now it's interesting what do you think is going to happen now with Jiří Procházka? Because
I think there's fights to make for him. I think he should take a lot of time off, honestly. Like
he just came off a long layoff.
I know, but like at least more than like 3-4 months, you know. And like I don't know where you go from here.
I feel sorry for the next that has to fight him.
Yeah, He is scary.
He's zoned in, dude.
Yeah.
He's an odd guy. He's very odd.
He's training with a sword.
I know.
Yeah.
He looked like, bro, in the whole fight week, it looked like he was getting aroused by like the prospect of fighting somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He literally sat there like...
He did, he did also blow a kiss to Alex after the fight. Did you see?
Oddball, dude.
Yeah.
Oddball, honestly. Apparently, when he won the title, he sat in a locked room for 5 days just to see how he would feel about it.
Nice.
I don't know how he survived. No water and no
Yeah.
food or whatever. Dark room, no sound, no light, nothing.
Yeah.
Just to see how he'd feel about it.
Yeah, that was actually a scary fight in retrospect. Just like two dudes that like they're scary like breed, you know.
It's a samurai versus like essentially I don't know what the politically correct term is for Pereira, but a warrior. I'm just gonna say that because I don't know what the politically correct term is. But man, what a odd dude. But anyway, I think there's options for him there. Also Pavlovich. I mean, he's always gonna get fights. I think it's not the end of the road for him, but obviously not. But yeah, man, heading into next year, there's a lot of good fights coming, particularly. And good on you, Dricus, for keeping this a secret. Literally, the announcement was made on Monday. I met with Dricus on Thursday and had the interview on Thursday. I ended up releasing it on the Monday.
Yeah.
But literally, he could have just been like, hey, dude, really?
Yeah.
I'm fighting at UFC 297.
Yeah.
January.
Yeah.
You could have just told us, and then I could have just released it on Tuesday, and we could have spoken about it like it was done on Monday. But anyway, so that fight's being made finally. Dana's come to his senses.
I was surprised. I was like, it came out of nowhere for me. I was thinking that surely they were trying to make at least either the Kamzat deal work or something. But
yeah,
because it took them a long time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But like I said, man, like eventually it's undeniable. And like now, you know, obviously we'll get closer to the time, we'll get to who we think is going to win.
Yeah.
But now there was also a clip that came out of CS du Plessis. I think I'm assuming him or someone from Supersport was at UFC 295 because I saw the Supersport mic.
Yeah.
And they were asking Dana about UFC Africa again. So he was like, and now, so why this is odd, because now it seems like UFC is back on the Dricus train. Because what they said, they're like, yeah, Dana's like, yeah, you know, when a champion wins a belt, they want to defend it on home soil. He's not even the champion yet. But he's like he wants to defend it on home soil. So he's like, yeah. So that's definitely something we're going to be doing. We're definitely going to be going to Africa. It's just going to be a matter of where we go.
Yeah.
And Dricus himself said now, before this announcement, he said like his perfect scenario is beat Strickland, win the belt, and defend it against Izzy at UFC Africa.
Yeah.
Dude, Cape Town Stadium, it can be open. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the dream. And it feels like that's what the UFC is planning. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You know, my dream was March 2024. It's a bit soon. That's my bit like, maybe they do it for that weekend, like with 1st of May weekend, the long weekend. Maybe they do it then.
Yeah, it would be a good time. I mean, he does like that. I think that's a realistic turnaround as well. I mean, if he does get the job done. The
thing is, though, is like they need to build a PI. That's the first thing. But also, it's like, will they do it in South Africa? Oh, we've had this discussion so many times. But Dricus is fighting Sean Strickland. I like that fight for Dricus. Always like that fight for Dricus. A lot of people are now trying to build this hype on Sean Strickland because he beat Izzy in the last fight. But we should not forget Sean Strickland. Not many people were that impressed with him up until he beat Abus, UFC debutant, and
Abus has not been doing good either.
No,
so it's like
So I like that fight, man. I'm just so glad. This is monumental, dude. Like honestly, I've said it before, but like if Dricus wins, and I think he will win, if he wins the UFC title, that Springbok parade that we saw, there needs to be an even bigger one for him because it's in my opinion, it's a bigger achievement than the Springboks going back to back in the World Cup.
It's a first. It's like it's so huge for South African MMA.
It is the equivalent of Bafana winning the Football World Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, we barely ever qualify for the World Cup. We've had a handful of qualifications, been abysmal. Okay, our best one run was probably 2002, I think, 98, 2002, around there when Benny McCarthy was still around.
Yeah.
So if Dricus wins, this would literally be like South Africa winning the Football World Cup.
Yeah. More likely, though.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
But could you imagine the scenes of
Yeah.
the Football World Cup being won? So I think when he wins the title, they need to line Oliver Tambo. I don't know who would be the person to make that happen, because Rugby SA would just did that with the airports company, I guess, and go to all the media outlets. But I think they should line the streets. He should do a tour with the belt.
Yeah.
And just go and obviously come to the studio and do the podcast episode round 2, hopefully by that time. But you know what I mean? Like, it would be one of the biggest sporting achievements in South African history, hands down.
Yeah, for sure. I do agree, and I can see it happening.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, so I don't know. I mean, him and Izzy. Let's see. Izzy did come out and say he wants to only come back in 2027.
I think that's just trying to get the media off his back, honestly. Yeah.
I think he just wants to take a break. But Izzy now has a lot of options. Dricus wants to fight him. I mean, look, things can change with Dricus when he wins the title.
Yeah.
But I mean, that would be an option for Dricus, unless, maybe he wants to fight Hamzat.
Yeah.
And Poatan called him out for a fight. So Izzy's got a lot of options. Poatan's not happening, though, because Dana White said that if Izzy's interested in light heavyweight, they'll give him a fight at light heavyweight first with somebody else, which he's obviously not going to do. He wants to fight straight for a title. And if he then does well there, then they'll give him a fight with Alex Pereira.
Yeah.
So I don't think Izzy's going to do that. I think Izzy's more likely to want to go for the Dricus fight when Dricus beats Strickland.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants that Hamzat fight. I think he wants the Dricus fight, and then he retires.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think that. Yeah, I can't imagine anyone wanting a Hamzat fight.
Yeah. Why would you want a Dricus fight though?
Yeah.
I guess if you're gonna take a risk, you take a risk against the worst of the two. Like, worse in terms of rephrase that, worse in terms of worst to fight against.
Yeah.
Like, can do more damage to you. Because if Hamzat wasn't ultra impressive against a fellow welterweight, the two welterweights that were ranked, he wasn't really impressive against. So if Izzy beats him, it's kind of like, if Izzy loses, like, well, you lost to a person that's really a welterweight.
Yeah.
So
I was just thinking that Hamzat's actually not that big a not I don't want to say a bigger challenge, but I think it was Dricus's interview with you. It makes a lot of sense that he's not going to fight for the title, because that wasn't that impressive a performance if you think about it.
And like we said, I mean, the 2 times he's come up against ranked opponents was Gilbert Burns. I always go back to that Gilbert Burns fight. He did an amazing job to get through it and like overcome that challenge and that adversity. But that was the first time he couldn't storm someone away. Yeah. And he struggled. And Gilbert Burns,
it was a close fight.
Gilbert Burns realistically can still go down to lightweight, probably, if he really tried. If he pulled a Poatan at middleweight. Yeah. And then Kamaru Usman had 10 days to get up to middleweight weight, and I think, like I say, if they fought at welterweight,
and if
Usman
it was
wins.
5 round, for sure,
100% wins it.
Yeah.
So Hamzat. I mean, look, and also his hand and all that. I don't think Dana's off the Hamzat train, but hey, you never know. Like, Dana flip-flopping. So but I think so. There was a thing that came out as well, and this could have been interesting, but I think Poatan's going to fight at UFC 300. Possibly.
Okay, it's not a bad turnaround. What's UFC 300? That's February.
No. UFC 300 is April, I think. April,
okay.
May. There's no official date yet, but if you follow the order of events, 297 in January, 298 in Feb.
And if you listen to the Schmo, apparently so is Michael Chandler.
Well, that's what I want to get to as well. Chandler Connor. Yeah. So the card so far is that people were thinking about after the whole call out was Chandler Connor, Poatan, Izzy, but that's not happening now, so maybe Jamal Hill. Yeah. And then I think the third fight was they wanted an Aspinall. People were like going on about Aspinall Jones or something like that. But they have O'Malley actually on his stream said that Chandler and Connor is official for UFC 300.
Well, okay. Is Connor clear? I mean, I know there's the USADA thing, and it doesn't really matter anymore. Yeah,
USADA's gone. That's obviously. I mean, the UFC will probably wait. I mean, you have to. Connor hasn't got many fights left, I feel.
Yeah, for sure.
So UFC 300, they missed him on UFC 200, because he took a sidetrack fighting Nate Diaz at UFC 196, I think. took a sidetrack and then called UFC 202 the real UFC 200 back in the day.
Yeah.
So they have to do something big, and who's bigger than Conor McGregor?
Yeah, that's actually a ridiculous thing to think about. That Conor McGregor has been around. Well, it would have been around for the full decade, or yeah.
No, wasn't it?
Well,
Yeah, well, I mean, he has been for a decade. Yeah, I mean, it was Brock in UFC 100, then UFC 200. I might even bring him. Imagine they bring him back for UFC 300 with no USADA. Brock Lesnar versus TRT Vitor, or like Overroyd. Then they do the rematch.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah,
but yeah, so that's apparently the card. UFC 300. They want to go Conor McGregor Chandler. I don't know what I feel for that fight, man. Like, who would win that fight? Depends what Conor pitches up.
I care less and less about it, honestly. Like Conor McGregor, he's not. I don't know. It feels a bit too gimmicky. I don't think he's that serious anymore. I think Chandler wins.
Thing is, you see Chandler training the whole time. You see Chandler waiting. You see Chandler ready. He stays ready the whole time. And then you see Conor going to Saudi Arabia, partying here. Looks like alleged nose candy there. Going to this event, that event. Like, he's getting in shape again. Like, he's slimming down and stuff. But I also I can't see it, you know? Like, look, Conor's got the touch of death, obviously. But again, it's like the Poirier fight. Like, he couldn't put Dustin Poirier away in both of those fights. And then eventually he got TKO'd and he snapped the leg snap's a freak accident, but he got TKO'd in that first fight. If Chandler hits him clean, like Tony Ferguson got hit, it's done. It's done for Conor. So, I don't know. I'm also kind of losing. I mean, it's like, you do an Ultimate Fighter. They did Ultimate Fighter with Faber and there was no fight. So far, there's been no fight again.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So what do they do? Anyway, but I think they're holding on for UFC 300, so it's definitely
McGregor Poirier 4.
Never. I think. Well, listen, they'll give it to him.
Yeah.
Because Dustin's not looking to fight anybody. Doesn't look like, and they'll give it to Conor. Conor will get what he wants.
Yeah.
So, UFC 300. I don't know.
I would actually. I mean, unironically, would like to see Conor McGregor Gaethje for the BMF title.
I think Gaethje kills him.
I know. I think so as well.
I don't think they do that to Conor McGregor. I think with Chandler, he still maybe has a chance because he is bigger, and he's fought that style a lot, like wrestlers with an overhand right, if you want to call that. Chandler's a little bit more dynamic than that. Chandler's got uppercuts and he's got different angles. He's got kicks or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think Gaethje's just a whole different animal. I think Gaethje will smoke him.
Yeah.
Smoke him.
Yeah.
Conor's just become, I don't know. I'm still a fan of his, but like the thing like with Makhachev, I don't know if you saw what he said to Makhachev. Makhachev's now the pound for pound number one, finally. People were waiting forever for it, even though he's never beaten a lightweight to defend his crown. But anyway, it's a different story.
Yeah.
Conor tweeted, busted for steroids and got KO'd. And then a picture of Makhachev with both. And initially I thought, is Conor talking about himself here? Or like, because he got KO'd in his, like, basically in his last performance. And
like everyone talks about his
everyone's
steroids.
talking about, well, him being allegedly being on steroids. You have to put the allegedly there. Yes. But he's just become that, like, Twitter troll almost. Like, it's bad to say because he's become that, like, back in my day, I was the first champ, and I was the... Ironically, it was also 7 years to the day, pretty much, that he won it at Madison Square Garden. That poor now got his second belt.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like the UFC's evolved so much in the last 2 years, already. It's like, if you look at the champions now versus then, and they don't last because it's just like, it's so cutthroat and competitive. Like, I don't know, to believe Conor's antics that he can come back is just like, I think a bit far-fetched.
No, he will come back. No, he'll
like come back and do like really well, make a title run.
Nah. That's what makes John Jones so crazy. John Jones has weathered like multiple waves and multiple generations of
youngest champion, oldest champion. No,
he's not the oldest.
No, he is. Yeah, active one. Active.
Active, yeah. Yes. Okay, active, yes. Yeah. No, Randy Couture is by far the oldest. I'm pretty sure Randy Couture won it at like 46.
Okay, active.
Yeah, Randy Couture is there.
Yeah.
But like John Jones has realistically never lost. Like the Matt Hamill, it's not John Jones undefeated. Okay, honestly, between the picograms and the the Matt Hamill 12-6.
Yeah.
I mean, that's absurd. Like,
Yeah.
I still, to this day, I don't get it, because something similar happened now with Hector Lombard at Bare Knuckle. So they got a Bare Knuckle MMA, which is game bred MMA. And Hector Lombard is a guy that fought in the UFC. So he's a fourth dan in judo and a second stripe in black belt in jiu-jitsu, freak wrestler from Cuba who then like wrestled for Australia.
Yeah, it sounds intense.
So he came to the UFC with a 25 fight win streak or something like that. It was like 25-1.
Yeah.
And then like they gave him what was supposed to be a filler fight against, I forget against who it was. I think it was a light heavyweight. I forget. And it was so underwhelming. He lost a decision. Okay. And then he like slowly fell off the radar. Anyway, fast forward to today. He's fighting in bare knuckle MMA. He got the guy's back, flattened him out, was hitting him with punches. The guy already tapped.
Oh.
And then he was hitting him to the back of the head, supposedly. So the referee called it a no contest. Actually, a DQ loss, like John Jones with the 12-6.
Yeah.
Because of strikes to the back of the head, even though the guy had been tapping for like 20 seconds before that.
Yeah.
Which then eventually got overturned because they re-looked at it and they saw, oh, the guy actually tapped. So it was...
Just being a dick.
Not being a dick, no. It was
Or
a
like
wrong
not-
decision from the referee.
Or like not... Well, I'm saying from this guy that if you didn't feel the... Well, if you did feel the taps.
No, he taps on the mat.
Oh, okay.
So he can't see it in that moment. You don't know, and it's up to the
Oh.
referee to stop it, and the guy's moving his head or whatever. But
Yeah.
how come they can overturn? I know it's a different organization, but anyway, so it's the same thing with Matt Hamill. Matt Hamill was out of that fight. I mean, okay, this is like 12 years ago, so it's never going to be overturned. But Matt Hamill was out of that fight, and John Jones hit him with 1 or 2 12-6 elbows, but the damage had already been done. Matt Hamill was long out of that fight. He got up and didn't even know what was happening. That's John Jones' only loss in MMA. So that's anyway, long side story, but that's what makes him so special in this. So speaking of John Jones, last week we were wondering if there was like a chance, because of what Francis Ngannou's stock had risen to, of like a cross promotional fight between PFL and UFC, co-promoting or cross-promoting between John Jones and Francis Ngannou. Dana White shut that down quick in the post-fight press conference. Like he went to like dickhead Dana, because the guy's like, oh, would you ever do a cross-promotion with Francis Ngannou, John Jones? And he's like, yeah, we tried to make the fight when Ngannou was here. It didn't happen. So what are we making here?
Yeah.
The guy's like too scared to say anything. He's like, you tell me, what must we do?
Yeah.
And then the guy's like quiet, and he goes, yeah, you got the dumbest question of the night, buddy.
Yeah.
He's like, you're a dickhead for asking that.
No. I can understand why you wouldn't want to make that fight. I don't think you want to it's for Francis to have gone over and made that much money, like and especially with UFC and people talking about fighter pay, I can't see how it would work out if he came back, and how just the finances of that would work.
Well, look, there's two parts to that. So the first part is, again, I don't think the UFC needs PFL.
Yeah.
Okay. The second thing is, the money that he made is not from pay-per-view buys. Okay, so there's if they did that fight in the US, take the Saudi money out of it.
Yeah, and that ran at a loss. Yeah.
So take the Saudi money out of it. The Riyadh season, they've been trying to make a thing. There's even a Riyadh season cup, which I've never... Anyway. The only reason they made the money is because Saudi didn't give a shit about losing money.
Yeah.
They paid him like 10 or 30 mil or whatever it was. They sold like 12,000 pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And they had 55,000 streams.
Yeah.
That is... they can't sell.
Yeah.
They can't sell. I think the UFC now has the 3 highest pay-per-view... 3 highest gates at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
So that from that standpoint, I can understand it. And like, again, you're the A side as the UFC. You don't have to actually do it.
Yeah. And I don't think you kind of want to... Just for your fighters, you don't want to... Like, you don't want to say like, hey, you can have your cake and eat it too, almost. It's like, because then if I was like Sean O'Malley or something, and I'll go out of the UFC, get the money fight, and then be like, okay, cool, I can still fight your champions, and just get paid more,
Well, again, I still don't understand the economics behind PFL, because I mean it's all funders, I guess. But the risk, I think, for the UFC is what if Francis Ngannou wins?
Yeah.
Could you imagine Francis Ngannou beats John Jones? And then people are like, yeah, UFC, PFL's got the better fighter.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be detrimental to the UFC.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, no cross-promotion, unfortunately. We're never going to see that fight. It is what it is.
Yeah, just Stipe. I think for both of them, and that's what actually makes me quite excited about that fight, because I do think they'll both retire afterwards.
Yeah, win or lose, I think they're going to retire after that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, we move on to UFC Fight Night, Allen versus Craig. So we've got the first fight is Johnny Parsons versus Uros Medic. Medic 9-1, 3-1 in the UFC. Parsons 9-3. He won his UFC debut in July.
Yeah.
What are you making of this one?
There's too many unknowns for Parsons, for me at least. I don't think I've seen enough of him. I think that if he's smart, he won't want to be on the be standing up with Medic. I think, as an American, I'm going to assume that he's pretty good with wrestling, and Medic is really good on the feet. So if I was him, I would try to do that.
See, I think they're both going to go to throwdown. I actually think Parsons is going to want to have this as a brawl. He's more of a brawler type from what I've seen of him.
Yeah.
I think Medic has much sharper striking, so he needs to avoid it being a brawl. So he needs to stay standing with him, but I think he needs to make it a bit of a cleaner fight rather than that like proper brawling type fight. So I'm going to go Medic to win this. I do think also because he's a lot sharper.
Yeah.
I haven't seen much of Parsons. Enough of Parsons. He hasn't proven himself. He might do it in this fight. But I go Medic. Yeah, Medic to win this by TKO round 2.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, same. Medic, TKO round 2. I think that, it's that's. I mean, his only loss is against Jamal as well.
Yeah.
Or Jalen, sorry. And it's, he's been really impressive. The other wins have all been KO.
Yeah, they're very quick, like early in their careers.
Yeah.
12 fights and 10 fights. But yeah, it should be a good fight. I mean, they are, like I said, they're going to come to throw down. So
yeah, it's a good way to start the card.
It's a good way to start the card. Then we got Luana Pinheiro versus Amanda Ribas. Pinheiro 11-1.
Yeah.
She got a split decision win in her last fight. Ribas 12-4, 2-2 in her last 4.
Yeah.
What do you got for this one?
I got Ribas because I know she's coming off a loss against Barber, but she's just like, I don't know, there's a lot of tape on her, and she's really seasoned. I think I just see her experience getting her through this, and I'm not that impressed with Pinheiro. I'm just like, that split decision loss. I know other like decision wins, I don't know, they're like not that impressive.
Yeah, I also got Ribas. I got Ribas by decision. And again, she's 2-2 in her last 4, but I think she's more proven, and she's got good wins, like against Mackenzie Dern, she had a good win. I don't know, Pinheiro, not too excited. I mean, not too excited. I'm just not too, I'm not convinced.
Pinheiro's the big favorite as well, eh?
Really?
Yeah.
That might be a good bet,
Yeah. Plus plus 240.
Jeez, really? Yeah, it's because the record probably. That's the thing. Good betting tip for you guys. Then we got Payton Talbott versus Nick Aguirre, excuse me.
Yeah.
Talbott 6-0-0, making his UFC debut. Aguirre 7-1-0. You know how I feel about people making their UFC debuts. Aguirre, man, Aguirre actually lost his UFC debut and didn't really show much in his UFC debut, but nonetheless has had a fight in the UFC, so kind of fresh. You know how I feel about people making their UFC debus. I never liked to back them.
Yeah.
But in this instance, I'm going to back Talbot. What do I? Don't know now. Yeah, I'm going to go Talbot. I think I'm going to go Talbot by decision. I've just decided now. He's only been a professional for 2 years, though. Still gone to 6-0. It's outside the UFC, obviously. But something just tells me Aguirre wasn't really that impressive. He didn't show much in his UFC debut, so I got to go with Talbot. You?
I'm gonna go smart money to Talbot as well, just because I don't know anything about these guys. If I'm honest, I couldn't find tape. Only a little bit on Aguirre and losing his debut, but I don't know Talbot. I just saw his record. He's like, he did the it was Uriah Faber, and there was a few other promotions, but just KO. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go Talbot.
UFC debutant again, and we said the same with the Boas. We said the same with a lot of them. So until you're in the UFC, you never know. But like, I think Aguirre's a good fight for him because he's coming off a loss.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say it for the third time now. Showed us nothing in his last fight. So
Yeah.
then we got Michael Morales versus Jake Matthews. Matthews is 19-6.
Oh.
Morales 15-0, 3-0 in the UFC. What's up?
I think we have one before that. Chase Hopper.
We do. My bad. Chase Hooper versus Jordan Leavitt, excuse me. Hooper 12-2-1, 2-2 in his last 4. Leavitt is 11-2, 3-1 in his last 4. What are you saying for this one?
I don't like to go with Leavitt because I don't like him. I think he's a decent enough striker, and I think Hooper Hopper, well, I think Chase is just really small, and I think he's having a really bad run. I have Leavitt. Yeah.
You got Leavitt.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm also on the fence on this one. I just think that Leavitt got put on his back too easily by Paddy Pimlet.
Yeah.
And I think if Chase can do the same thing, then he can get a submission win.
And that's not a very impressive, opponent. I know I do shit on Paddy a lot.
Paddy's grappling's good, though. No, Paddy's grappling's good. I disagree. His grappling's pretty good, I mean, for this level. But, look, the biggest issue for Chase is his durability still. So if he can weather any type of storm, I think he'll be able to get Leavitt to his back and get him on his back and submit him. So I'm going to go with Chase to win this one. Chase to win this one.
Okay.
Submission, don't know, second round. Okay. What is your method of victory?
Jordan Leavitt KO. Third round.
Third round, okay. So we've got a difference there. Now we get to Michael Morales versus Jake Matthews. Matthews 19-6. Morales 15-0, 3-0 in the UFC.
Yeah. Cool fight.
What are you thinking for this one fight wise before you get to the result?
I haven't picked yet. Looking at it now, I'm gonna go Morales.
What's your breakdown of the fight?
He's just undefeated. He's beat Griffin. He's been really impressive. I do know Matthews is a lot more experience on him, and it's definitely his hardest fight yet for sure. And it can go either way. I'm just really excited for the fight.
What's the method of victory?
I'm gonna say TKO.
Morales.
Right, TKO Morales second round.
So just interesting with Matthews, he's only 30.
Yeah.
He's been in the UFC for almost 10 years, which is crazy. He's 19-6, so he's a bit of a wily veteran. So he's lost obviously 6 times, but he's not going to go down easily.
He's a good fighter.
He's a good fighter.
Yeah.
Morales is just a different level. I mean, like you said, he showed a lot of toughness. His fight with Max Griffin. He's an A+ athlete. Matthews is so inconsistent. I'm reading my notes here from the thing, but I can remember. He is so inconsistent. He's been very up and down in his career.
Yeah.
Particularly in the UFC. I think Morales is going to put him on the back foot from the word go, and Matthews fights his worst when he's on the back foot, obviously. I mean, so I'm gonna go Morales. I was gonna go TKO. I'm gonna go decision.
Okay.
I'm gonna go decision.
Yeah.
I think Matthews is still tough. He doesn't go down easily.
Yeah, I hear. He's got that durability.
He's got a lot of durability. So I'm gonna go. I'll go decision. So we both got Morales there.
And Morales just I was looking at some tape for this, and he's a really good prospect. I like.
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna go far.
Yeah, I also think so. I mean, like you said, 15-0, 3-0 in the UFC.
Yeah, him and Diego Lopes,
yeah,
looking really good.
Yeah, stars in the making.
Yeah.
This one's tough to call, man. The main event. Brendan Allen, number 10 ranked versus Paul Craig, number 13 ranked. Craig won his middleweight debut. It was ultra impressive, in that. I mean, I think middleweight's the home. I mean, he's found his home even after one fight. But 17-6-1. Allen on a 5-fight win streak, 22-5. What do you make of the fight before you get to who's going to win?
I've no clue. It's really, really interesting. I don't know. I'm just such a fan of Craig, as a person, as a fighter. And I believe he's really, really tough. I think he can fight a lot of people. I think stylistically there's a lot of poor matchups for him. Personally, I don't think he can, if he ever gets to the title, I don't think well, I think he'll have a lot of trouble keeping it. And Brendan Allen, really impressive, but I don't think he's been tested yet. So this is just a really, really good fight to see like where they're both gonna go. I think
they're very similar in style. That's the thing. Like there's stylistically, there's a lot of similarities. Allen's got 13 wins by submission, 10 rear naked chokes. So if he gets to the back, he finishes.
Yeah.
Craig is a wizard off of his back. Like he's really, really good off of his back. Good guard player.
Yeah.
Craig should be bigger. I mean, having come down a weight class. The only problem I have though is like Craig takes a lot of damage going for submissions. Because especially of wanting to hunt submissions off his back.
Yeah.
And I think Allen should be able to, like, what this is going to come down to is who's going to get the top position. Okay, because if Allen gets the top position, Craig's going to want to work for submissions. He's going to take a lot of shots working for it. He does eat a lot of shots off of the bottom.
Yeah.
And I've gone for, because of that, because of the shots he's going to eat, I think Craig's going to be found in a bad position. So I've gone for Allen by a 3rd round sub on this one.
I've gone for Allen by split decision.
Split decision, okay. That's an interesting one.
Yeah. Just because like it was the only, I don't know.
5 rounds, eh?
It's a hard fight, and I'm very not confident that it'll make it there, but that's just like it's the most impartial choice I could make. I couldn't do a hard stance that someone's gonna TKO someone or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think I might even call Allen by rear naked choke.
Yeah, that could definitely
possibly
happen. Yeah.
Or head and arm triangle or something like that. But I can see it going the other way. Like I can see Craig winning as well.
Yeah.
Like that's what makes this so interesting. And I'm a big fan of Craig's, but I think Allen's just 5-fight win streak.
Yeah.
As well, we need to highlight that because Craig only just won his last. Okay, he's now found his division, but like he's only just won his last fight.
Yeah.
So he's also been kind of up and down. So
it would be great. I mean, whoever loses this fight, it would be great to see either one of them versus I always forget his name. Wrestler boy.
Oh, Bo Nickel.
Bo Nickel. I think that would be a nice fight to make.
I don't know what they're gonna do with Bo Nickel, man. Because who's there to fight against? Because he obviously wants to fight someone in the top 10.
Yeah.
Which I don't think he's ready for. And I think the UFC is big on Bo Nickel. So I think they're going to keep giving him these feeder fights.
Yeah.
And then maybe they should build to Bo Nickel and Hamzat. That would be quite a clash of wrestlers.
Yeah.
I mean, it has the potential to be super boring because they'll just maybe wrestle each other.
Yeah.
But it has the potential just to be like two juggernauts just freaking
it'd be awesome
bumping heads.
If they make it a stand-up war, that would also be awesome.
I think Hamzat will smoke him in the stand-up, to be honest.
I think Hamzat wins both. Well, actually, like
I also think so.
Yeah.
I don't know how big Bo Nickel is though. Like for middleweight,
yeah.
That's the thing though. Is like if Bo Nickel is Dricus' size, which I doubt.
Yeah.
But if he's big, he's a problem. I don't think he's that big for middleweight.
Yeah.
So I still think Hamza would beat him probably on current form in any event. So anyways, back to this. We've got, pretty much the only one we've got different is Leavitt.
Yeah.
Chase versus Leavitt. So I've got Chase to win. You got Leavitt to win. So
we will have a winner.
We will.
Unless one of these fights gets cancelled because, I mean...
Yeah, that has happened.
And like there's so many... I mean, with the main card, this packed, I think that it's at least likely that one of them is going to get cancelled.
But we'll still have a winner because we've got one different.
Yeah. And unless it's Leavitt.
Why?
Unless it's Chase versus Leavitt.
Oh, unless that one gets
Yes,
cancelled.
yes,
I thought you meant unless Leavitt wins.
Yeah. No.
It's like, what are you talking about? Okay, so tune in next week to see who wins that one. I mean, we're gonna see. Yeah. We're gonna find out soon enough.
Also, just a note for the undercard. There's one really, really cool fight. It's Jonathan Pierce versus Jason Brito, and it's a 5 wins in a row versus 3.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know how I didn't make the main card.
Yeah, to replace what was his name, Talbott and
Aguirre. I think that would make more sense. I don't know. Maybe they just. I mean, but also Jonathan's American, so I don't know. Yeah.
I think with the UFC, it depends on which divisions. Like a lot of divisions get a spotlight in a card.
Yeah.
So maybe that division doesn't really need a spotlight. Maybe those guys don't need a spotlight and the others do.
Yeah.
Who knows? So yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap it up for this week. Tune in next week, guys, to see who takes home the belt. Let us know what you want to see in next week's episode. Let us know your thoughts on Dricus du Plessis fighting Sean Strickland. We've seen the comments on the other videos. We know you guys are behind Dricus, but let us know if you're not. Who do you think is going to win? What's going to happen with John Jones? Who do you guys think is going to be headlining UFC 300? And tune in next week for more MMA news. Cheers, guys.